EDC Live. Excuse me. Thanks for joining me on my lunch break on Sunday. I know Sundays are family days, so probably not gonna be a lot of people hanging out. I usually average between 0 and 1, so it won't be bad. It'll be about average. All right, so today, I've gone over a couple of news stories on the channel, and one of them recently was here in New Orleans, in my home city, where an Uber driver was brutally murdered by a fare. He ordered the Uber just to kill New Orleans Police Department. She wasn't a police officer, but she worked in the police department. So I don't know. I just thought somebody who worked with the police or for the police might be more encouraged to protect themselves. Then again, it is New Orleans. It is like a heavy Democrat city. So even though we are here in the South, just like anywhere else, most places are rural and more conservative, but you hit the city pockets, the major population centers, and they seem to be a little more progressive. So maybe she was actually discouraged from carrying a firearm, which would be crazy. Like, that would be so messed up if she was actually discouraged from carrying a firearm for her own protection. I mean, what are they gonna what they tell her is just gonna get stolen? Well, not if it's always on you, maybe if you're dead. Anyway, so today I wanted to cover, until just a couple of years ago, let me back up a little bit. I just recently got into firearms a few years ago, right when I got into my 30s. Like, I've always gone hunting when I was younger. I've always been pro-gun. But, I was never in the 2A community. I was pro-gun, but I wasn't like 2A, if you know what I mean. Like, you know what I mean. So until recently, when I, hit my 30s, but, I was always still a big proponent of self-defense. And even when I did get into guns, I couldn't necessarily afford a gun yet. So I still had to protect myself or my wife or, in some other way. And so that's why I wanted to bring up with today's live stream is just go over some options for self-defense that aren't a firearm, because you might still be saving up for your first gun. I mean, my first firearm was a Taurus G2C, 9mm, cost me like $179 or something like that, and I didn't know much about guns. I didn't know what I was getting into. I just liked the way it looked, and it was in my budget. And I knew about Glocks and Smith & Wessons. Like, I almost got a shield, but luckily the guy behind the counter was letting me hold all the guns, and the shield, I didn't like the way it felt, and the G2C actually felt a lot better. Anyway, so what if you can only afford the G2C? A G2C today is better than a Glock on layaway. So, I'm still not a very well-off person. I'm still poor and live, in a pretty, restricted budget. So that was what my budget could afford me at the time. And that's what I got. It ended up being, one of my favorite firearms that I've had no issues. So, if you're on that budget saving up for that firearm, we'll go over some options that may be affordable right now to kind of hold you over. So what I got right here, I need to get my laptop set up so I can do the streaming on my computer and pull up like websites and stuff at the same time. But for right now, we're just gonna kind of go old school and do a little presentation with some visual aids. Okay, so I'm getting there. So what I got here, so this was on a website I got it more for the pictures, and it was Now anybody can use anything that I'm presenting today, not just it pretty much just makes a loud noise. And I went offline there. It just makes a loud noise and is supposed to alert people. Okay, what if nobody's around? What if it's 2 a.m? You know. We also got some jewelry wearables that send an emergency signal. Now this one might be good if you know, you have children or something like that. You know, they go missing, you got some sort of tracking, and they have it disguised as like, you know, scrunchies or pieces of jewelry and stuff like that. Now that's pretty I think that's pretty smart. So you got things like that. That's not necessarily self-defense, I would say. All right, let's go up to this next tier. So this is some more inexpensive tier, budget tier, we'll call it. So this first one here, we got this tactical flashlight. So this is always a great option. I carry a flashlight just to have all the time. I recommend that everybody carries a flashlight. So I have an example here. So what this one is, this is a WowTac Black Scout Survival version 3. I'm not sure if they make this one anymore. But I like this one for a couple of reasons, and I don't like it for a couple of reasons. So one of the reasons why I like it is it has this really aggressive like strike bezel, and you know, that can do some damage. And it also is removable if you need it to look less aggressive. Now, one of the other things I like about this flashlight in particular is that it has the light on the butt cap here, and so it's easy to push and maneuver. And this one that I also like about this one is this button here. That's the strobe button. So you can see that there. I'm not sure how well the camera picks it up, but all you got to do is just hit that button and that's your strobe. So that's why I really like this version in particular. I know I have the version 4 and you have to hit the button really quickly, like 3 times. Like if you're tussling or you're just trying to get someone to back off or whatever, like this button right here is great. So that's an option. Look around. There are a lot of, you know, for flashlights, you could go real budget, your stream lights and stuff like that, all the way up to your, you know, whatever the expensive ones are, Olight and all that. The next thing we got here is we got some keychain handheld options. And you got this paracord monkey fist thing. So that's kind of cool. I mean, if you put like a really big like ball bearing in there, something like a 1-inch ball bearing, you know, you could do some damage with that. Although, you know, I'm not sure how wieldy that would be. I mean, if you got your keys in your pocket, that's good to go. Sorry, y'all, I got the text. Oh, just from the wife. All right. The next thing we got is tactical pens. So I thought I had an example to show you here, but it must be in my other bag. So these were kind of big, you know, in like the early or mid 2000s, I guess, when all of like the tactical stuff was coming out. Now, this isn't a bad option. It's really just a heavy piece of aluminum or steel. That's also a pen. Now, what I usually carry now, this is more of a gray man version. So this is just a Zebra F701, but it's an all steel pen, and it looks a lot more normal than one of these like tactical pens look. Like these look pretty, like, you know, it's a weapon when you see one, like you know. They also have the SOG baton style multi-tool. These are discontinued, and even when they were around, they weren't very good. Now back to the keychain options, we have these like Kubatons. So that's pretty much just like a like one of these tactical pins. And then I also have seen some of these like false keys. So that'd be pretty good. Yeah, I know. Yeah. We got someone commenting. Let's see. They say, Trevin says, I never understood why these people are charging such high prices for these things. You're right. Like this is literally a piece of plastic or a piece of aluminum. And this, you know, same thing, just stamped. Um, but I've seen, I think Cold Steel makes a version that's like this, but it's a knife and it pulls out of a sheath and it's a sick little blade. So with that, you're good to go. Knives are always a good option. A nice fixed blade knife. They're featuring one here. It kind of looks like a SOG Seal Pup Elite or something like that. You know, a nice fixed blade is good. In the city, it looks a little bit more conspicuous, unless you got something smaller like that you know you can conceal and cross draw. All right, guys, we're almost done with this. Then we'll finish off with that news story. I got a good one for you guys today. All right, now we're going up to our more expensive stuff. So now with this stuff, I kind of want to make the argument, if you're going to spend the money on something like this, you might as well just buy that firearm. If you got enough for this taser pulse, that thing's, I know these things go almost like $450. You could probably find a nice used Glock for that much. So if you are a prohibited person, you know, I could see why one of these might be the thing. But these taser ones up here, these act similar to the ones that the police use, but these are one and done. So the police, they can control their delivery of the electricity to you. With these, you fire once they make contact, they go for 30 seconds, giving you time to get the hell out of there. Yeah, Trevin says city people are more afraid of people with fixed blades than people with guns. You're probably right. I'm over here in New Orleans, so I think if I see anybody, I kind of just keep my distance. I mean, I conceal carry, so nobody knows I have mine. But yeah, you know, I see a lot of like the hipster type people and, you know, more, you know, I'm still down here in the South, so we got our rednecks and stuff, even though I live in New Orleans, you know, we still got our, you know, the rural people. And yeah, they carry fixed blades, but I don't know, they don't seem as threatening here. But also, I don't see a lot of open carry in the city. A lot of people, you know, it's New Orleans, so I think if people open carry, you're going to get a lot of people just trying to yank shit off of people's waists and stuff. It's a, you know, so I think people, if you're smart and you're in the city, you don't open carry. You know, I've seen, I got a client, he's a security guard and he always open carries, but he just looks like a cop. So like, I probably, you know, he's got that look. Real quick, we got the fake, you know, these gimmick, like fake stun gun things. Now, these things are more an intimidation factor. You got that noise factor going for you. I've been zapped with one of those. It's not, I wouldn't call it debilitating, to say the least. All right, our last thing, we got pepper spray. I mean, pepper spray is nice and cheap. Just get your Saber brand. You got your, you got the gel and you got the spray. Now the spray is better if you're like outdoors, mostly if it's like ideally not windy. I recommend, you know, I'm no expert in pepper spray, but I recommend buying the gel stream if you're more like in the car, like if you're an Uber driver or something like that. That way it doesn't mist, and it's actually just the gel stream that goes right where you point. And that way you have less chance of getting it in your own eyes. I'm not saying that that's happened from experience, but I'm also not saying that that's happened from experience. Also, if you live in more of a windy area, the gel's probably good. All right, Trevin says, oops, come back, chat. I said live chat. He said, I think getting shocked with a cheap taser is more scary than getting shocked with an expensive one. You know, I think if you're getting shocked with the taser, I don't think right there at that point your body cares if it's expensive or cheap. But, you know, you got a point, you know, because who knows how those things are made. But yeah, you know, pepper spray. I know they got these like pepper ball guns and stuff. Again, those are pretty pricey. Like if you're going that far, you might as well just wait up and get that firearm. You know what I mean? Like I said, a Taurus today is better than a Glock on layaway. Now, I personally have had this particular Taurus. You know, I carry a Glock usually, but that my first gun was a Taurus, and I've put over 4,000 rounds through it, and I've not had a single issue. All right, thanks for sticking with me through that short presentation, mainly because you don't know if those cheap ones are going to explode or not. Yep, you're right. That's what I mean. Like, you know, they're mass produced in China or Asia, and, you know, they got no regulations. They're just, you know, soldering wires and putting batteries in. So who knows, you know, turn that thing into an IED. Yeah, it would not be good. All right, Trevin, thanks for sticking with me, bro. All right, we got our story of the day. We got a carjacking shooting in North Kenner leads police to 113 pounds of marijuana. Gotta love that. All right, so Kenner, I'm over here in New Orleans. Kenner is like a suburb. It's like 2 suburbs away. It's like a 15-minute drive. All right, story goes. So this is from NOLA.com. A suspicious carjacking and shooting in North Kenner led police to 113 pounds of marijuana and the arrest of a Slidell area man. The violence was reported Friday at about 2 a.m. in the 3700 block of Loyola Boulevard, where 2 men from Florida told Kenner police they expected to meet somebody they had contacted through a dating app. Two people in a black Honda showed up, shot one of the victims, and stole their van. The other victim that was not injured refused to help police with the investigation. So they're using these dating apps to entrap people, y'all. So be careful. They're using you know, Uber. They're using these dating apps. They're crazy. All right. Using license plate recognition cameras, detectives identified the Honda and found it registered to a Mod 422 of Slidell. They obtained a search warrant for a residence, seized the Honda, and within it found 113 pounds of marijuana, 2 pistols, bullet casings similar to those left at the scene. They booked forward with carjacking, aggravated batteries, possession of Schedule II drugs, possession with intent to distribute Schedule I drugs, carrying a weapon during a violent crime, and possession of drug paraphernalia. The van and the second suspect are still missing. The wounded Florida man was taken to University Medical Center in New Orleans with injuries that did not threaten his life. Kenner Chief of Detectives Captain Michael Cunningham said Saturday that the victim's van had been rented in California. Police are still looking for it, and the second person from the Honda. So, man, that's crazy. So these people, they're using these dating apps and everything. So things are getting sketchy. So I think maybe it sounds like it was a holdup that, you know, maybe it was supposed to be like a drug deal, and they said it was you know, they met through a dating app, and these 2 guys in the van ended up getting jacked and shot. So, you know, regardless of the story, you know, that's just my speculation. There is no insinuation from the story that the weed belonged to the victims there of the carjacking. So it's possible, but you never know. Anyway, y'all, I just want to do a couple shout outs. We got Trevin here sticking with us, so I just want to thank you, bro. You know, thanks for hanging out with me. I'm a new channel, so I'll take, you know, all the views I can get, you know, and yeah, thanks for interacting in the chat. That's cool too. I really enjoy that. And you know, hit that notification bell and come and hang out some more. We got another shout out, my friend, best friend Amanda. She's graduating here in 2 days, so congratulations, bro. You're almost there. You're almost there. And yeah, I think that's it. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to me ramble. And remember, guys, I'm just a regular guy, just like you guys. I'm just learning about all this stuff and going through everything with you guys, and just presenting my take on things. So if you like what you saw, hit that thumbs up button and make sure you subscribe. And if you watch us on Rumble, smash that Rumble button. I'm at like 1,100 rumbles. I don't know what they do, but help me get some more. And remember, guys, stay well regulated. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.